Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Kratom Talk. Look, we can call it Kratom Talk. My name is Adam. I go by Coach Hard Gains on my Hard Gains coaching platform. I've been coaching bodybuilders and recovering addicts and current addicts for a very long time, over 20 years. Let's see. Sorry, I think we're having a little audio trouble. Can you guys hear me okay? I threw the microphone up a little higher today so it would be out of the frame. Friends, I'm really grateful for all the support. You guys are awesome. And I can feel that most of you are understanding now what I am trying to build. This is a different community. This is a space for everyone to come. For whatever reason you need to be here, you're welcome here. This is for all experiences, all journeys, all addictions. No matter what it is. Because addiction is addiction no matter what the addiction is. And Kratom, I hate to say it, but it's also another addiction for many people. So one of the things that we really need to strive for is a common understanding of one thing. We are all different. We are all vastly different in many ways. We have an individual biochemical profile that makes each of us very unique, especially when it comes to addiction and withdrawal. So please remember that, friends, as you are watching these videos and as you are reading through the comments of individual people, lives, sharing their journeys and experiences. It makes me so happy. I mean, it really does warm my heart, brings me to tears to see you guys talking in the comments section, encouraging each other, sharing your journey and your experiences to build someone up. I don't deal with bullying. I don't deal with put downs. I don't deal with negativity. So if you're bringing that here, I'm going to shut it out real fast. I don't need that shit around me, and I don't want shit in my community. Understood? You don't shit where you eat, and this is where we're feeding food for thought. Feel me? All right, so today is a very special video. I apologize. I run warm. I'm going to be getting a little hot in this little room here that I have in my studio. Now, at this point, I've gotten about 100 requests to start making daily videos. I would love to do that for you. I'm going to try my best to give you guys videos as frequently as possible so I can just give you as much information, encouragement, and coaching online as possible. But today's video is going to be a very important one. So I hope that you watch it, you take it in, you comment, you subscribe, you like, and then you pass it on. There's a lot of people that need to hear this. So today's video is on the 5 things that I wish I knew before taking Kratom. And I mean before ever even trying it. So without further ado, let's get into that. So the 5 things I wish I knew before taking Kratom. So number 1, it is an addictive substance. It's not always, but it is. Now, obviously, the American Kratom Association has a lot of good in what they're doing. They are pushing forward in the work that has to be done to keep Kratom legal and uncontrolled and available to all. So I'm grateful for that. But one thing that the American Kratom Association puts out there that is false is that Kratom is not addictive. But here's the thing. As I've mentioned in other videos, the studies on Kratom are done using consumers who consume less than 1 gram of Kratom a few times a week, a couple times a week. Will Kratom become addictive? No. If you use it properly and respectfully, it will not become addictive. But if you are considered an addict, and I'll insert here that we need to make sure that people are not throwing the word addict around as an insult, because it's not. But at the same time, let's not be snowflakes and let's just let everybody say what they're going to say and just consider it their opinion. But the problem is this. If you are an addict, if you are addicted to some substance, and you are utilizing Kratom to come off that substance, to withdraw, to taper, to wean, to replace, you will certainly become addicted to Kratom. If you were using 100 milligrams of fentanyl 3 times a day, 5 times a day, if you were using 100 milligrams of Oxycontin 10 times a day, and you go to Kratom to get you off of those drugs, you're going to have to take the amount of Kratom that replaces your drug of choice, your DOC, in your receptors, throughout your body. And that amount of Kratom is going to be a lot. And that amount of kratom is going to cause an addiction, a dependency, and you will go through withdrawal. No, I'm not going to go too deep into each one of these individual items, but I hope that gets the point across. Kratom is and will be addictive if you are an addict. If you can use it respectfully, the way the studies use it, and the way the farmers in Indonesia supposedly use it, with 1 or 2 leaves every once in a while throughout the day, it's not going to become addictive. You're not going to experience withdrawal. But if you're taking 10 grams every 2 hours for a couple of years, you will become dependent on it. You will then become mentally and physically addicted to it, and you will certainly go through withdrawal. And I want to point out here, there's a big difference between taking kratom for 1 year, 2 years, up to 5 years. That is a very different threshold. And once you get above and beyond 5 years, 5 to 10 years, I've been taking it for over 8 years. I know people who have taken it over 10 years. That is a whole nother story. Completely different. So please, we'll talk about that in another video. But I want to make sure that you understand, as a new kratom user, number 1 is kratom will be addictive if you use it as an addict. Are we clear? Now, number 2 is an important one. No one ever told me to avoid daily use of kratom, because 8.5 years ago, that information wasn't really out there. It wasn't readily available. It's not like you could Google it and find all this honest information about kratom. It wasn't that way. And in fact, it really isn't. There's not many people who are putting out the transparent truth other than myself and maybe Joey Talks. And I'll get into that maybe another time, but I will let you know right now. There's a guy, Joey Papa, he goes by Joey Talks on YouTube. He's the only person, and I've watched them all. No offense to some of the other newbies, but if you've been taking kratom for a year, that experience, 2 years, that's very different than once you get above and beyond 5 years. But I do like the information that Joey puts out there because he puts it out there in a way that I relate to as a coach. It's more transparent than most people. So I'll give Joey a shout out. I've never met Joey, never even spoken to Joey, but I've watched enough of his videos to feel like I can actually tell you that it's okay to go watch Joey's videos. But the point is this, many of us utilize kratom as our primary source for pain management. That's very different than you recreational users, and unfortunately we're going to have to make another video about that. Utilizing kratom recreationally versus as a necessity for pain. These groups of people are very different, but please, if you want to avoid dependency, avoid daily use. That's what it is. You can take certain amounts, different days, certain strains, higher amounts, lower amounts, but if you avoid daily use, your chances of becoming dependent and addicted and going through withdrawal are very slim. I don't know anybody who experiences withdrawal when they avoid daily use, like when they take it 2 or 3 times a week. Even in higher doses, 2 or 3 times a week. So the problem is also this. There are physical and mental issues that arise when you consume kratom every day, especially long term. I didn't notice what was going on inside my body until I passed the 5-year mark. My blood work, my lab work, wasn't affected highly, minimally, until I got past the 5-year point. And then I've already made a video. Check this video out here. I had a false scare of prostate cancer because my daily use of kratom had caused my PSA levels to rise to an astronomical number. I mean, a healthy rate is under 1. I was at a 10. I was at a 9.8 on my PSA. And yes, I can tell you that was from kratom. So let's just sum that one up. Avoid daily use. Because that leads me to number 3. If you start consuming kratom daily, you will eventually have hormonal problems. Your body is going to have hormonal issues. Kratom affects so many parts of your hormones. This is one of the reasons why I tell people it's different from opioids and opiates, because of the way that it gets into the central nervous system, the way that it affects your dopamine and your serotonin, the way that it can cause secondary hypogonadism, the way that kratom can raise your prolactin levels. Prolactin affects our body in many ways. When our prolactin is too high, it can cause anxiety, it can cause severe weight gain, it can cause anger and rage and hostility and feelings inside of your body that aren't normal. to yourself. But consistently high prolactin can actually lead to mood disorders. So that's a whole nother video that many of you might really need to hear. Are you going through kratom-induced anxiety? Kratom-induced hormonal issues? I have found that many women are affected by kratom in a different way. It can also affect their estrogen. It can affect their libido. It can affect certain sexual functions, is what I've found. But prolactin has a large role in regulating our stress levels. So we've got to keep that prolactin down. Kratom can also affect blood pressure. I have had a number of clients report to me thyroid problems. Are you one of them? Because that's a whole nother issue. So guys, daily use, prolonged use, and high use of kratom comes with a host of additional issues. So let's recap real quick. Number one, it is addictive. We know that kratom affects the hormones, and we know to avoid daily use. Okay, here's one that's very important. This is one I really wish I knew ahead of time, because this is important to me. Kratom can certainly cause ED in men. You guys having problems keeping it up or getting a good erection? Blame your kratom. Serious. Have you noticed? Like I've said, kratom affects the hormones. Well, one part of the hormones is obviously our sexual function. Kratom can really up your sexual function, both men and women. I'm sure many of you have already experienced that. That's something that really needs to be discussed more openly. So let's be real, guys. Making love is the greatest gift God has given us. When you do it right, and when you get to enjoy it with someone you love. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I like to make love every day. Maybe that's TMI, but I didn't know that kratom was going to affect my sex life. And it certainly did. To the point where, in order to continue taking my dosage of kratom, which was a lot, but remember guys, I had a spinal fusion and I was in a ton of pain. I had 4 companies to run and 6 kids to raise. I needed to mitigate my pain to a level that I could actually function at. But consuming that much kratom to put me at that level caused a host of sexual problems. And I don't like that. That doesn't make me a happy boy. And it doesn't make your partner a happy girl. And that's not good. Because making your partner a happy girl or a happy boy is very important. That's crucial in a relationship. We can get into romance and love another time, but guys, making love to your partner, that is crucial. That's the most important thing to keep a healthy relationship, in my opinion. All right, so that's number 4. Number 4 is kratom can certainly affect your sexual function. Now, as I stated in the hormone section, many women have reported a drop in libido, but I've also had female clients report to me that achieving an orgasm was much more difficult. And for others, that orgasm felt more numb. It wasn't quite as heightened. The sensation was dull. And I think that's the case with men as well. Too much kratom over a prolonged period of time can reduce your sensation of an orgasm. So that leads me to number 5, guys, and that is that kratom withdrawal is real. And I specifically made a video on that, so watch that video, but this is important. Kratom withdrawal is real. And I talked about that at the beginning of the video, and I'll end it on it here. I have on my list here in my notebook that many clients, at least 30 I think it was, I counted yesterday, have asked me to make a video specifically detailing what kratom withdrawal is like, how to get through it, how to mitigate it, how to taper, how to quit, those processes. So if that's what you want, drop a comment and I will make sure to make that video soon. But remember, addiction, dependency, and withdrawal is individual for all of us. I have told you many times, I have come off high levels of oxy and Dilaudid, cold turkey, in a couple of days. It's not a good experience, I'll be honest, but it goes away quickly. I can cold turkey that in 2 to 4 days. And within 5 to 7 days, I'm feeling pretty good. But kratom is a very different story. And I attribute that to the way that kratom gets into the central nervous system mostly, because when going through withdrawal, taking higher doses of gabapentin or utilizing GABA in conjunction with L-tryptophan, those supplements can heavily reduce the discomforts, the creepy crawlies, the numbness, the tingles, the feeling like you're crawling out of your skin, the restless leg syndrome throughout the entire body. Those supplements calm and soothe the central nervous system. That's what they're designed for. I have a host of horrible, horrible nerve pain from my many accidents. In my neck, down my spine, down my leg. I have a lot of gabapentin in me right now. Or I couldn't make this video. I couldn't sit here comfortably if I didn't utilize gabapentin. But I rotate gabapentin because gabapentin is something we got to make a video on, guys, because many of you are taking it. That leads to another set of problems, such as short-term memory loss, anxiety, lethargy, exhaustion. Gabapentin is a very unique drug. It's actually very specific in what it does, and it's very good at it, but there's a lot of problems we have to talk about. This video's going on too long, guys. You know the 5 things I wish I knew before taking Kratom, and now you know what they are. That might be different for each of you, but at least you have an idea of what I believe are the worst problems. Oh, by the way, here's your bonus. Many people experience constipation and dehydration with Kratom use. Actually, almost everybody reports to me that. I've never experienced Kratom-induced constipation. I've never experienced Kratom-induced dehydration. In another video, I'm going to tell you why. So stay tuned. Alright everyone, thank you for watching another Kratom video. Thank you for your support. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Now find me on Instagram at Coach Hardgains with a Z. Subscribe to the Coach Hardgains channel and Healing Together. There will be consultation slot coming up as long as the calendar is successfully revamped next week. Maybe 2 weeks, guys, but there will be new slots available. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I've been going through a lot. A recent car accident, the spinal fusion, so I will be getting back on track for 2023. So everyone, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.